Alright, hey there guys, Intimidator here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video. In this video is going to be my final video on the badge ranking system by tiers for at least the PS4 version of 2K21. Don't know how it's going to work on the PS5 version. We're going to have to wait till the PS5 comes out, and I'm going to have to wait until like fucking, I don't know, maybe next year, because I don't know when I'm going to get my PS5, but as it stands right now, this is going to be my opinion, my rankings on the defensive badges for the PS4 2K21. So with that out of the way, let's start off with box. Now, box is an interesting one because if you're a big, it's definitely great, but if you're a guard, it's not great at all, and you don't need it. So for that being said, I'm going to even it out, and I'm going to put it at a B tier. Just because for bigs is obviously much higher, you definitely want it like an A, or I would even you probably could make a potential argument for bigs it's an S tier badge because it's absolute priority to be able to box out your man to get the board. But I'm putting it at B just because for guards it's useless, but for bigs it's pretty good. Same with brick wall, I'm gonna put that at the B tier as well, just because for bigs it's good, for guards it's not. Chase down artist, I'm putting this in the B tier as well, but the reason is because it definitely seems like chase down artist isn't as great as it was a year before. Now, I don't know if people really have tried to use chase down artist very much, but I think chase down artist has taken a bit of a hit this year, so I'm putting this in the B tier. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think for it, in my opinion. Clamps, I'm going to put this in the S tier. This is an absolute must get. You have to have this badge to be able to play great defense. I completely forgot I had this badge on bronze, so let me put this on silver real quick. If you have like 6 defensive badges like I do, I wouldn't even go gold clamps. I would try to say, maybe put it on like silver, or hell, maybe even gold if you really want to, just to be able to stay with your man on the ball, being able to make sure he doesn't get by you and shit. I wish, honestly, I really do wish that I could get more defensive badges with this build, but then I would have to sacrifice a lot of shooting, and even then, I wouldn't be able to get too much more defensive badges. So, hopefully, when my D-Wade build comes out, I'll be able to, play much more clampy defense. But until then, you know, um, anyways, back to clamps. Yeah, it's definitely an important badge. Heart Crusher, I'm also putting in the S tier. There is a reason this badge has now been banned in competitive tournaments. It is just so broken. Getting one block or one steal, and all of a sudden the entire team was either one or two people on the opposing team turns cold. Now, it was nerfed from how crazy it was at the beginning of the year, which thank God for that because it was broken. But that being said, it is still amazing. It's definitely one of the best defensive badges in this game, which is weird because like I said when I talked about I think I've said this before when I talked about Heart Crusher. Had you told me that this was gonna be one of the best defensive badges in the game for 2K21, I would have laughed at you because this thing is trash. Interceptor, I'm actually gonna put this in the C tier. Interceptor has really fallen off this year. And as I talked about in the last video, I think it's just because the passing lanes steals in and of themselves were nerfed, which again, thank goodness, because passing lane steals just were broken in 2K20. They were just insane and overpowered with how they played in 2K21. Now, I still have it on bronze just to have the badge, just in case someone throws like a lazy pass in my direction, I could just be like, boop, thank you. Or like I would get back on defense and someone tries to throw an outlet over my head, I could just deflect it. So, I definitely like Interceptor still, but it is definitely a C tier badge for me. It's definitely taken a huge hit. Speaking of badges that took a huge hit was Intimidator. I'm putting this in the C tier as well. It is not the powerhouse that it was a year ago. And again, this is another thank God for that because this badge was, I said this before, and I think 2K did implement it. Like, the problem for me wasn't the fact that it gave you a bonus to contesting shots. The issue with Intimidator that I felt was that the higher the badge tier, the more effective range it had. Like, for example, Hall of Fame, I saw this picture on 2K for 2K Labs when they did their 2K20 Intimidator video. Hall of Fame Intimidator, you could get a contest, like you could impact a shot. I'm sorry if I hit my microphone there. You could impact a shot with Intimidator behind the free throw line if a guy was standing at the top of the circle, with the top of the three-point line, which is just there's no reason for that. Like if you're nowhere near a guy, you shouldn't be able to contest their shot, especially if they are a great shooting player. Like if you're behind the free throw line and you're contesting Steph Curry, that is a wide open shot, 100 times out of 100 to him. Now whether he makes it or not is a different story. But that was just my issue with Intimidator, was just the contest range with it. But it did take a hit, so it is definitely a C tier badge. Lightning Reflex is a D tier badge, not going to go into that. Moving Truck, maybe for about a week, this was probably like a B to A tier badge, but now it's just a D tier badge, no need to go into it. Off-Ball Pest is also a D tier badge. I had one of my boys tell me to give it a try, and I did, and I didn't like it, because I just felt like there was really no need for me to have Off-Ball Pest. So I'm going to put this in the D tier as well. Now, Pick Dodger, I'm going to put this in the B tier. Pick Dodger is very good, and is definitely improved from last year, but it's still not as good as it was last year. It's still not as good as it could be. Like, I feel like there needs to be more abilities to navigate through screens, especially on a higher tiers of Pick Dodger. Like, if I could, I probably should do this, actually. I'm going to go Gold Pick Dodger from now on, and I'm going to give this a try and see if I can navigate through screens a lot more effectively, especially when I'm going up against fucking playmaking shot creators, because that's all they do, and it's so fucking annoying to have to guard that all the time. So I'm going to try Pick Dodger on Gold to see if it's better. We'll revisit this conversation later on, but as it stands for me, I personally think Pick Dodger is still not great, but it's better than it was last year. Now, Pickpocket, I'm going to put in the B tier, borderline A tier, but I'm going to say B because I feel like obviously if you have a higher tier for it, it's going to be better. But I feel like bump steals are much more efficient ways to get your fucking on-ball steals than reaching. Now, do I agree? No, but do I agree that it's a great alternative? No, but that's just how the way this game is played, so what else can I do, right? Anyways, but Pickpocket is a B tier badge. Definitely get this badge if you have a good amount of defensive badge points, as it is very solid. Pogo Stick I would say is a C tier badge, which thank God for that as well. Okay, there's a few badges that I've also said thank God for that, for it being nerfed, like for example, Intimidator Interceptor, and this is one of those badges because I hated this badge this year. This, in my opinion, was the biggest no-skill defensive badge in the entire game. The fact that people had the ability to jump consistently with no penalties, and then end up getting body blocks on the way down when you're jumping in the air. Like, if you jump in the air and somebody goes up, that should be a foul 100 times out of 100. You should not be rewarded for jumping early. I fucking hate when 2K does that, and I'm glad that this badge is not that good. But at the same time, though, I'm still wondering why this is even a thing in this game. Why is this in the game? Like, please take it out. Please take out Pogo Stick. Do not give nerds any complaints or any desire to have this as a badge. Please, just get rid of it. Post move lockdown, D tier. Don't need to explain. No one really uses post moves, and even then, they're easier. They're not as hard to defend as everybody thinks it is. At least from what I've been told as a big. So yeah, just don't use this badge. Rebound Chaser. I'm gonna put this in the A tier. Obviously this is a badge mainly for bigs, but for guards, I feel like guard rebounding is criminally underrated in this game. If your guard can rebound, it does help out quite a bit, especially in the park, because it allows you to push the ball immediately and not be able to get the defense set up on the park, or even in Team Pro-Am. And shit like that, because obviously if your big gets the ball and then they outlet it to the guard, they have time to get back, but if you go full Russell Westbrook and get the board, then, they can't really get back right away, so. But I would still say for guards it's not as important as big, so I would say it's still an A tier badge. Rim Protector, same thing. I'm going to put this in the A tier as well. I'm going to have this build on my D Wade build. In fact, actually, I got my first defensive badge on that build because I was playing yesterday, and I put it on Rim Protector because I want to be able to block shots. Just put at least having this badge on bronze for a big, or just in general, will ultimately help you in the long run. Be able to get your teammates takeover faster. It's not as broken for a takeover badge like say Showtime or Heart Crusher, but it's still like really great to have the ability to block shots more consistently, and give your team takeover boost as well. Tireless Defender, I'm putting this in the D tier. I tried this badge and I've not seen a difference in stamina reduction when it comes to uh, stamina in this game. So I would just say, just don't put this badge on. Trapper is a D tier. This is the worst defensive badge in the game behind maybe Lightning Reflexes. So yeah, just don't use Trapper, please, for the love of goodness. And then Worm, I'm put this on the B tier. I don't really think it's as important for bigs, but if you have like a good amount of defensive badges, obviously this will allow you to swim around box outs, to be able to get offensive boards and get putbacks. But I just feel like personally, like I think personally, if a shot goes up, you should just get back on defense and not worry about having to crash the offensive boards. But again, that is just a personal thought that I've had when it comes to bigs. But that is going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Here are the letter grades for each badge once again. So if you disagree with anything, obviously let me know in the comment section below. Like if you guys did enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new. And with that, I'm out. Peace.